Welcome back to another video. This is the Bradford City v Stevenage match reaction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Red card, Steve Evans comes back to Valley Parade. I think it was 10 games unbeaten against City with any club, and we went and beat him. So we destroyed that one, and we've won again against Stevenage. We've only played 10 games in our history against them. Like I said in my preview, we played 11, and I think we've won 7. Against them as a whole, so we've got a good record against them. We've continued that run. A former player played against us again today. It's a common theme in League 2. Jake Reeves. Let me know what you think of him in the comments down below. I thought he actually was good, but we made him look good. I think against a player like him, he cracks under pressure, and as we saw when he played for City, he couldn't handle the pressure of playing for Bradford City, and when any players put pressure on him on the pitch, he did crack. And I just feel like we didn't do that enough today. I didn't feel like mainly Chapman, because that was his man, didn't put pressure on him, and he was just able to get on the ball and play and do whatever he wanted because he had a free roll. And Stuart McCall tried doing that with Jake Reeves at City when he was available, and it didn't really work. Players got pressed onto him quite quickly, and he gave the ball away loads, and that's something that we didn't do against him today. And that's the only thing I can really criticise us on today. I think as a whole we defended well, we digged in deep, showed great grit when we had to show that grit, when crosses were constantly coming into the box, and we stood tall, stood our ground. One more thing I couldn't nitpick on was the fact that when a cross came in, we'd win the first ball and then the second ball would fall straight to them inside the box, and that's something we didn't do well enough today. But apart from that, I think we had a pretty good game, passed the ball out well. There were a few sloppy errors, but you're going to get that in League 2. And we were quite clinical. We took our chances when we got them. I think we had around 12 shots today, 3 goals. Andy Cook scores again. I think that was his 8th goal in League 2 this season. I'll just have a quick check. But yeah, as a whole, I think we had a good game, and we didn't really miss anyone. Dion Pereira out, Walker out, who I do think we really missed this season. That number 10 position, I mean, Chapman didn't have a bad game, but Walker's creativity is missed, and his work ethic as well, because he does get back, and he puts that effort in, and he also creates some good chances as well. So that's his 8th goal this season in 9 games for Andy Cook. I think that's in League 1 because he scored quite in League 2. League 1's where we're heading if we keep playing how we are. But it was a good performance. We took our chances, and that's all you can expect. I think there's a transition going on in this fan base where we had the Parkinson era where we didn't really pass the ball out. McCall, we didn't really do it either. And throughout these few managers, we haven't had managers come in with a set plan of we're passing the ball out from the back, we're building from the back, and we do mix it up a bit. We do play it forward to Cook or Oliver a few times, but these are transition where some of our fans do have to realise that we have to be patient on the ball sometimes, and this is how we're going to be playing. And I think that's a transition that we had to make, because we're playing better football for it, we're getting results, and we're scoring more goals. It's working, but I think we can be a bit impatient at times, and we do have to just sit back and go, are we scoring, are we playing well, and is it getting results? I think some of us are on edge, because when we have done it under different managers, we haven't done it properly, and we haven't done it well, and there's been a few mistakes when we've been caught trying to do it, and we've conceded a few bad goals from it. I mean, McCall tried to do it a bit, and Collins did, and especially Collins, them 6 or so games that he had were very bad, and we did make quite a few errors trying to pass out like that, and I think a few fans are having to adjust and transition into playing this style of play, but that's just one thing. But yeah, on the performance, we played well, and this team will go up if we don't get bad injuries. And even then, I'm pretty confident it will go up because we've got a great balance and we've got great depth in this squad. Pereira out today, Walker out today, Critchlow out today, and everyone who came in to replace them, bar Chapman, had a good game. And there's still players who missed out, who you think, well, they could have played. There's still players who were on the bench who could play. And there's still players making big impacts on the team. Rydal also injured, who I do think Ford should have been playing the games that Rydal were playing anyway, because since Ford has come in, he's been fantastic. But yeah, the thing with this team has is balance. You know, we defend well, we have great grit. You know, when we have to battle and we have to sit back, we sit back and we do it well. Then when we go forward well. We have a good mix of flair in the squad going forward. We have a good mix of players who just give energy and desire. And then we have a few players who we just have a good mix. And we have pace, and then we have, you know, rigid players. And onto the player ratings, I'm going to give Harry Lewis a 7. Clean sheet, made a few good saves. His distribution was pretty decent too. And yeah, he's definitely not a League 2 goalkeeper. And he's probably more so a Championship goalkeeper, if not a higher level League 1. So he's a brilliant goalkeeper. Don't know how we got him. Distribution good. Saved us a few times as well. I'm going to give him a 7. Let me know your player ratings in the comments down below. Brad Halliday, I'm going to give him a 6. I think he was a bit sloppy on the ball at time. No, I'm not. I'm going to give him a 4. Because I forgot about the red card. But whilst we're on holiday, I will talk about it. We were sloppy on the ball with Halliday. I think he gave a few bad passes away. He didn't seem to want to go forward much, and when he did, he turned away from putting a cross in, which he's done a few times this season. It's a bit Frelkel-like. Defensively, there's question marks on him, but I think he's a solid right back. But today, he didn't play very well at all. And the red card, I mean, 2 yellows. I think if anyone's getting sent off with 2 yellows, there's something wrong with them, because they've either got caught in the emotion, but how can you when you're 3-0 up in the 90th minute and get sent a second yellow? You just don't need to go in that challenge. Whether the first yellow were a yellow or not, it's ban Halliday and it brings him down. For me, it's a yellow. And then the second one, it's a challenge deep in their half, where he didn't have to make in the 90th minute when you're 3-0 up. I think it will be a 1-match suspension, but it might be 3. Either way, Luke Henry's a decent backup, and you know, you have a squad for a reason, and we renewed his contract for a reason. The fact that he can come in if Halliday's either injured or suspended, like he is, and I think he can come in, and maybe he could get a position nailed down, which hopefully for him he does. But yeah, 4 for Halliday today, didn't do well. 2 centre backs. Platt is getting a 7, and Odesina's getting an 8. And man of match. I mean, Andy Cook probably does deserve it, but because it's Odesina's first game and first league game for us, and playing against such a big team that want to put crosses into a box constantly, want to get set pieces, want to just bomb you with crosses basically, and big men going up for headers, he handled them well. And then when they played balls in behind, you know, he doesn't look the strongest, but he's proper strong, and he is fast, so he's got the lot. And I think now we know why other clubs wanted him so much, why we wanted him so much, and why Hartlepool did not want to lose that centre back, because he's extraordinary, and hopefully he carries it on. And this problem is, where does Critchlow now get in? If Odesina keeps his run going and Platt's being consistent, 7 out of 10s for me every game, Critchlow's going to struggle to come back into his team unless a gateway opens up for him like it has for Odesina. But Platt's getting a 7 as well, because he rose to the aerial balls too, and you know, it's solid, it's steady. Forwards is getting a 7 too. Good going forward, good defensively. Again, stood up to the aerial balls, and again a very solid player who should have been playing earlier this season instead of Rydal. And he should keep his place in the team. Hopefully he does, because he makes a better impact in the starting 11 than Rydal has. Smallwood and Gilead, they're both getting a 7s because they complement each other well. When one goes forward, the other sits back. When the other goes forward, the other sits back. Defensively, they both put a lot of effort in going forward, and they're both good on the ball as well. Good passing range, good technique on the ball, and both put in a few good tackles. Both 7, and if either of them don't play, we miss them. East and Sutton are good players, and Songo, but they don't have a partnership like them two do, and a good understanding of each other. Chapman 6, tempted to give him a 5. Again, he's struggling, and he ain't attacking midfielder, he's a winger, and that's why he's struggling. I think when he's on the wing, he looks confident, he wants to take players on, he wants to get crosses into a box, he wants to do a skill move. He won that left hand side at one point, nutmegged someone, got fouled. He's that type of player who draws players into making fouls and wants to show his creativity on the wing, not in the centre. So the quicker that Walker comes back, the better for him and the better for the team as well, because we are struggling in that position. In the preview I said I would have played Howard there. I think he on the bench today, and I still would have played Howard in that position because he can offer something in the box as well. But I feel sorry for Chapman because he's out of position. Tariq Wright, forgot who played out wide, but they've come back in my brain. Tariq Wright, I'm gonna give him a 6. I know he got man of match by whoever decided to give man of match to him. I think as the game grew, he got better, and towards those last 20 minutes, he was 7 out of 10. But I can't ignore the first half of the game where he looked to shy away from the ball and he didn't really want to come and get it. It looked like he wanted it in behind too much, and you've got to, if he ain't getting in behind you, you've got to come deep and want to get on it. And as the game progressed, he did that. He wanted to take shots off, and it comes with the territory of it being 2 or 3-0, and the game looks comfortable. But if that happens every game, that last 20 minutes he plays like that every game, we've got a brilliant loan player. But yeah, I think he were good, but that last 20 minutes he were really good. But before that he was hidden from the ball. Scott Banks, I'm going to give him a 6 because he were doing the same, although before he came off he was getting on the ball a bit more, wanted it to feet, he didn't really take on defenders that much, maybe getting dropped in the last game did his confidence a bit. Hughes said it was because he's been playing too much and he's young and they want to protect him. Yeah, but it can also damage someone's confidence if they've got momentum and they're scoring and they're creating chances and they're taking on defenders and their sparks coming off. If they're taking on someone and they keep beating them, it's going to lift his confidence. But then taking him away from that, it's almost as if you aren't being good enough, and his confidence might have took a hit to that, and that's why he didn't have such a good game as he was doing. So whether it was the right decision or not, I don't think he should have dropped him. And it was. I'm going to give him a 6 because he wasn't the same Banks we had previous to that Tranmere game. And Cook, he's getting an 8 as well. Could have got man of match, but I'm giving it to Odesina because it's his debut really. 2 goals again, brilliant. He's the League 2 Haaland. He's going to get 30 goals unless he gets injured. And even if he does, then we've got Oliver, who's a proven striker. Should we play 2 up top and go Cook and Oliver? Maybe. It's a good idea because with that number 10 position, it's up for grabs because Chapman ain't taking his chance. Walker's still injured. Maybe going Cook and Oliver would be a good partnership. Maybe we'd get a bit more out of it. But the problem with that is we won't control the ball as well as we have been. So it's something to think about for Hughes. But Cook's unbelievable. And then subs, I'm going to give him a 6 because they didn't impact the game enough. So let me know your player ratings in the match in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on the game. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.